206 bones of the adult skeleton provide structure and protection and facilitate motion. The skeleton protects vital organs. The brain is surrounded by bones that form part of the skull. The heart and lungs are located within the thoracic cavity. And the vertebral column provides structure and protection for the spinal cord. The skeletal system is also the site of calcium and phosphorus storage and blood cell formation. Inside the bone marrow of spongy bone, stem cells give rise to blood cells. Interactions between the skeleton, muscles, and nerves move the body. The nervous system sends commands to skeletal muscles to contract, producing movement at joints or articulations between bones.
The development of the skeleton's flat bones begins as certain mesenchymal cells at specific points within embryonic fibrous connective tissue develop into osteoblasts. The osteoblasts cluster together, secrete bone matrix, and develop into osteocytes that deposit calcium and other mineral salts that harden the forming bone matrix. The bony regions spread out into thin columns called trabeculae and form spongy bone tissue. A fibrous covering called the periosteum forms on the surface of the bone, and a layer of compact bone tissue replaces the upper layers of spongy bone. This process in which flat bones develop from connective tissue is called intramembranous ossification.
During embryonic development, cells called chondroblasts begin secreting cartilage that develops in the shape of the skeleton's long bones. The bluish, transparent avascular tissue formed is called hyaline cartilage. As the cartilage grows, the chondroblasts in the interior calcify and die. Blood vessels penetrate the structure and deliver osteoblasts. These cells lay down bone material. As the cartilage ossifies and spongy bone forms, a medullary cavity develops. At the ends of a long bone, ossification from cartilage also occurs. This process, in which hyaline cartilage becomes bone and grows, is called endochondral ossification. Bone growth continues through childhood. After puberty, bone tissue replaces the remaining hyaline cartilage, and the shaft reaches its adult length.
A fractured bone bleeds. Bone repair begins as, over a period of hours, blood at the fracture site clots and forms a hematoma. The healing begins as osteoclasts in the area remove dead bone tissue. while fibroblasts penetrate the area and build a fibrocartilaginous callus that bridges the broken bone. Over many weeks, osteoblasts transform the callus into bone. Continued remodeling and the mechanical stress put on the bone creates and shapes new bone. Over a period of months or years, the bone regains its original strength, shape, and internal structure.
In the skeletal system, cells called osteoclasts constantly remove old bone, while osteoblasts generate new bone. When bone tissue is lost faster than generated, bones can weaken and break. Osteoporosis is a condition in which overall tissue loss within bones results in bone pain, tenderness, and weakened and brittle bones. Sutures are non-moving joints that connect bones of the skull. These joints have serrated edges that lock together with fibers of connective tissue. The interlocking edges make sutures strong and fracture-resistant. All skull joints are sutures, except for the joint connecting the mandible to the temporal bone, which is a movable synovial joint.
As the body moves, the vertebrae of the spine move against each other as gliding joints.
Joints, like the elbow, move on just one axis. These joints allow for flexion and extension.
Top of the spine, the atlas and axis form a pivot joint that allows for rotation of the head.
The wrist joint is a condyloid joint that allows for circular motion, flexion, and extension.
Hand, the thumb's saddle joint, lets the thumb cross over the palm, making it opposable.
Ball and socket joint, found in the shoulder, is a freely moving joint that can rotate on any axis.